Okay, so here's some problems that might seem a little weird at first, but actually make a lot of sense, and we have to try and break this up a little bit. Now, we're told that the cosine of u is 3/5, and that the sine of v is negative 4/5. We're told further that u is in the first quadrant. How do I know that? Well, sure. U is an angle between 0 and pi over 2. It must be in the first quadrant. And v, therefore, is an angle in the, everybody? Yes, fourth quadrant, right? Here's our fourth quadrant right here. So what we have to do is we're going to have to actually handle a couple little problems right here. Let's say that we're interested in finding the sine of u plus v. Now, we know there's a formula that tells us that anytime we have the sine of u plus v, it is the same. It is the same as taking the sine of the angle u times the cosine of the angle v and adding it to the cosine of the angle u times the sine of the angle v. Now here's the thing. I know what cosine of u is. I'm told cosine of u is 3/5. What's more, I know what the sine of v is. I'm told the sine of v is negative 4/5. But then that means I have to find the sine of u and the cosine of v as well. So what to do? Well, let's make a couple little triangles. Let's look at angle u. For angle u, which is located here in the first quadrant, it is the kind of angle whose cosine is the ratio 3 to 5. And we know that that means that for that angle u, the opposite side must be 4. So what could we tell? Well, the sine of u then is 4/5. Nice. How about the cosine of v? We don't know it yet. Well, actually we do, because if the sine of v is the kind of angle that's in the fourth quadrant, let's put ourselves in the fourth quadrant, and in this particular angle, the sine is negative 4/5. So if angle v is here in the fourth quadrant, therefore that makes this adjacent side positive 3. So the cosine here is going to be 3/5. And we just found that based on our triangles right here. So if we wanted to evaluate this, we're going to get sine of u plus v to be 12/25. And we've got 3 and negative 4, so that's minus 12/25. So in this case, we actually end up with 0. Well, in an odd way, that should make sense, right? Because if we add angle u and angle v, v is a negative of angle u, so it's like having 0, and we're taking the sine of 0. So, yeah, that should have actually worked out that way. Neat. All right, let's talk about the cosine of u minus v then. Well, for the cosine of u minus v, we note that the formula for our cosine of u minus v is going to go cosine of u times the cosine of v plus, right, we change the sign, plus the sine of u times the sine of v. So let's make those substitutions now. Cosine of u, well, we're given that's 3/5. But what's the cosine of v? Well, just like we set up here, the cosine of v happens to be 3/5 as well from our drawing, from our right triangle over there, right? We had to add that in. Plus the sine of u. Well, the sine of u we found to be 4/5 here in the first quadrant, but the sine of v we're given as negative 4/5. And I don't think this is going to come out to 0 this time, so we're going to have to do a little bit more work. We're going to get 9/25 over here when we multiply 3/5 times itself, and we're going to be subtracting from that 16/25. And so the resulting value for the cosine of u minus v is going to be negative 7/25. Negative 7/25. So there's our sum, or our cosine of our angle u minus v. All right, one more. Let's talk about the tangent of u plus v. Here's its formula. We did this one. We did this one. Let's see what happens at tangent of u plus v. Well, for tangent of u plus v, we're going to get, I'll try and write it over here, tangent That's not a very good one. Tangent of u plus v is found to be the same as the tangent of u plus the tangent of v divided by 1 minus the product tangent of u times tangent of v. Alright, so we need to make a substitutions in here. Tangent of u, well, u is this angle right here, so that's going to be 4/3. And we're going to subtract from that tangent of v, and that's going to be negative 4/3. So we've got negative 4/3 for our tangent here. And that's going to be divided by, let's see, what should we divide by right here? Oh, sorry, these were plus. Good Lord, what's the matter with me? Tangent. This is going to be 1 minus the tangent of u, which we said was, let's say tangent of u was 4/3. Times the tangent of v, which we found to be negative 4/3. So working through our numbers right here, we have 4/3 plus negative, 0 divided by, 1 minus something, right? If you have to work it out, it's 1 plus 16/9, but it doesn't really matter because anytime you take 0 and divide it by a number, well, luckily we want to find out it wasn't 0 down in the denominator, we get 0 overall. So there it is, our tangent of u plus v. All right, so there we go. We're all set with this problem.